Hello everyone. I hope you are enjoying your holidays. So we had done up to question number 8 on that day when we finished our questions on the exercise part. Now what I'm doing, I have already shared you all the answers and all the solutions with you. But once again, I'm completing from my side all the explanation of these questions again. So we are starting with question number 9 after question number 8, which we have already done. In question number 9, which is a direct question, it's an MCQ form. What is the momentum of an object mass m moving with the velocity v? So you can just see it's a direct question and you can easily mark your D point in this. So it's m into v. So I think there is no need of any explanation now because you know already momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Now in question number 10, using a horizontal force of 200 Newton, we intend to move a wooden cabinet across a floor at a constant velocity. Now, what is the frictional force that will be exerted on the cabinet? So, you know, frictional force is always negative. So, whatever we have the applied force, it will always be negative. So, how to write it? You can see F applied here. You can see F applied plus F friction is always equal to 0 because the wooden cabinet is intending to move. So this is the difference in this. So we just like we are doing in maths, F friction is equal to minus F applied. So this 200 Newton will become minus 200 Newton. So what is your frictional force? That is minus 200 Newton. It was a very simple question. Two objects. Now your next question, 11th. Two objects, each of mass 1.5 kg, are moving in the same straight line but in the opposite directions. Now, as you can see, it is a question on collision, and we have already discussed that when the bodies are in collision, the bodies are moving with certain velocity, and once they strike each other, okay, what will happen? They will be moving in different directions, maybe. They can get stick together also. So this is the condition where they have mentioned here that they are sticking together, means body 1 and body 2, they become one, okay, after the collision. So if you just see this, I told you already that if you have your formula m1u1 plus m2u2 will be equal to, if body sticks, then this becomes m1 plus m2 multiplied by v. Okay, v is the velocity of combined body. When both of them after collision they are sticking together, then they become one. So m1 plus m2 and because of the striking and collision this happens. So you will just put the values here. As you can see here, the mass of the body is 1.5 multiplied by 2.5. Okay, and in the next m1, I'm talking about m1 u1 first. So 1.5, because same body is there, but now they are in the opposite direction. That means this will become minus 2.5. Okay, on the left hand side, now this will be our left hand side, will be equal to m1 plus m2, 1.5 plus 1.5 multiplied by v. This is what we have done after completing our calculation. So if you can see here, this will cancel each. Okay, because this is plus, this is minus. So both of them will cancel because one sign is negative, the other sign is positive. That means left side will become 0. This becomes 3 multiplied by v. So v will be equal to 0. That means combined, the body will stop after the collision. That is the main thing. So you can see here what they have explained in this way. So you can just see I have just made it similarly done. I have taken the formula in that way only in my explanation. That is why I have just taken. You can even write directly like this, or you can do like in the explanation it's given. So after the collision, the combined velocity of the object will be 0. That is very simple question. Now on question number 14. You have a bullet question. Now when bullet question comes, it is not necessary that he's talking about the recoil. Okay, it's not necessary, because in this question, the question is not on recoil. The question is the bullet of mass 10 gram traveling horizontally with a velocity of 150 meter per second strikes a stationary wooden block and comes to rest. Okay, that means now this is actually a question based on your equations of motion. And he's asking about the distance of penetration, means he's asking about S. So what is your first step? You will see that what are the values given. You can see here already I have written here m is equal to 10 gram. We have converted into kg. Okay, you can just see this. And once you see the next part, initial velocity of the bullet, 150 meter per second. Final velocity of the bullet is 0 because it comes to rest. Time taken is 0.03 seconds. Now after this you want to find out S. But what is our problem? You don't have the value of A. So your first step will be to find out value of A. Now if you want to find out the value of A, you can do it directly also. A is equal to V minus U upon T, because we know rate of change of velocity. You can put the value here, 0 minus, what is U? It is 150 divided by time taken. Time taken is 0.03. So if you just want to make it very simplified, then you will just remove your decimal and you will multiply with 100 here by 3. Okay, so 3 5 the 15, and you can see what is our answer. Our answer is minus 5000 meter per second square. So after this, once you get your value of A, you can put your value of A in F is equal to ma, and you will find out force. Okay, force is equal to m into A. You can see how we can multiply and how we are getting minus 50 Newton. It's negative here, so it is a retarding force. That's the reason behind this negative sign. Now once more, you have another part of, because that's a long question where he is asking about S. V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. S is equal to V square minus U square upon 2A. You know that formula, only you have to put the values here. So if you just want to have a simple calculation in this and a simple form, you can just write V0 minus 150 multiplied by 150 divided by 2 multiplied by minus 5000. You can just have this. You can see 0 and 0 will be cancelling with 5000, 2 zeros, only 50 will remain. Okay, so 2 into minus 50, what is your answer? Now after this step, what we can write is minus 50, 15 is remaining, into 15 remaining, so it will be minus and minus cancelled, so it will be 225, because 15 into 15 is I think 225 divided by 5 to the 10. What is the answer? It will be 2.25 meters. So you can just see it's a very simple calculation. Just go through the calculation which I have already shared today. Also I will share again if you have not noted it properly. Okay, so after once I share you this video with all of you, okay, you just see my earlier sharing. Okay, so I'm coming now to the next question. I'm taking question number 12 now. According to the third law of motion, when we push an object, the object pushes back on us with an equal and opposite force. If the object is a massive truck means truck has big mass, okay, huge mass, it is very heavy. So it is parked along the roadside, it will probably not move. You know that. It will not move on its own. So student justify this by answering that the two opposite and equal forces cancel each other. So you have to just comment on this logic and you have to explain why the truck does not move. So according to the third law of motion, as student has justified, we push an object, the object pushes us back with an equal and opposite forces. These two forces are called action and reaction pair. Action and reaction forces never act on the same object. So if you just see this, your explanation about the part of action and reaction, so they never cancel each other, only they are acting on different bodies. That's whatever the justification the student is saying, I think that's not related to it. So what is your logic? When we push a massive truck parked along the roadside, it will not probably move because applied force will not be strong enough to overcome the friction between the truck and the road. So justification by the student is wrong. I hope you must have understood that you have to mention the following reason related to why the truck does not move, and moreover it has more inertia also. So now next question. Hockey ball of mass 200 gram traveling at 10 meter per second is struck by a hockey stick so as to return it along again. This is a question on collision. And you have a hockey ball. You can see this hockey ball here in the diagram. This hockey ball is having the speed of 10 meter per second. Now this is striking on the hockey stick and then it returns back. Okay, when it returns back, the velocity will be minus. When it is coming towards it, then it will be plus. So you can see mass of the ball is 200 grams, 0.2 kg. U is equal to 10 meter per second. So what is the initial momentum? Initial momentum will be m into u, as you know. The formula is m into u. So I've just used it here. 0.2 into 10 is equal to 2 kilogram meter per second. But now when the collision happens, then final velocity of the hockey ball will be minus 5 meter per second. So your final momentum will be mv, as you can see here. 0.2 into minus 5 is equal to minus 1 kilogram meter per second. So what is the change of momentum? You can just write it minus 1 minus 2, because 2 now is subtracted from it. You know, delta p is the difference between the momentum, that is P2 minus P1 given in your book, and here I have just written just to specify that it's the final momentum and it's the initial momentum, and my answer is minus 3 kilogram meter per second, but the magnitude is 3, because you know, when you explain your answer, never write your answer in negative. You have to explain why it is there. So this is the question based on collision again. Okay, then I'm coming to our next question. Our next question is the question based on an object. Once again, the question based on collision. So I think beta we had left over with the collision part, which already I had explained with all the formulas, which are the possible conditions we can have. So all those possible conditions are used here. So in an object of mass 1 kg traveling in a straight line with a velocity of 10 meter per second collides with and sticks to a stationary wooden block of mass 5 kg, then they both move together. That means now what happens is that now once again this is a question on the body which are coming together. So here the mass of the body is 1 kg. It is moving with the initial velocity of u is equal to 10 meter per second. Mass of the wooden block is 5 kg. Initial velocity of wooden block as it is stationary is 0. That means total momentum before the impact, that means before the collision, is, you know, it is m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So what we have done here, we have taken m into u for the first body, capital M for the wooden block, and we have written our answer multiplied by 0, where if you can see here m into u is 1 into 10. But if you look at this part, this becomes 0. That means 10 kilogram meter per second plus 0 is your initial momentum. Okay, because you have two bodies. One body is the object given, that is 1 kg. The other body is the stationary cart which was lying there. So we have taken m1 u1 plus m2 u2, where m2 u2 is 0. So that's why I have written it as 0, and our initial part left side will be, according to our formula, will be equal to 0. Now we come over to the conservation of momentum needs both before the collision and after the collision. So what will happen after the collision? So let us see, after the collision, our final momentum naturally will be the same. You know, initial momentum is equal to final momentum. So according to this question, it is again 10 kilogram meter per second. So according to this, because the body now is under the collision, so what is our formula now? We have used this formula, mu multiplied by capital M, and it is multiplied by 0. We can put it in brackets so that there is no confusion, will be equal to m plus m divided by, multiplied by v. Okay, v is the combined velocity. So if you can see here, already we have calculated it is equal to 10 kilogram meter per second. Now we have to use the right hand side. So it is equal to 10, which is equal to m plus m. M plus m is 1 plus 5 multiplied by v. So what is our v? V will be equal to 10 upon 6. Now what is 10 upon 6? You can see here it is 1.67 meter per second. So this is your combined velocity. And what is our initial momentum before and after? You have understood it is 10 kilogram meter per second, because this is m, this is u, where you can just write the values here. The values, as you can see, is 1 into 10 only. This is 1 into 10, this is 0. So 1 into 10 is 10. So I hope you must have understood, and you can just follow this solution. Once I complete it, you see it again. Now I'm coming to question number 16, because we have in total 18 questions in our first part of the exercise, and then we have additional exercise also. That means it's a very long exercise which we have to do. So that's why, just to give you time for your completion, so that when the school will reopen on 1st, you should complete all your work in your copy, and please send your PDF once you complete. I will give you my email ID again, so that you can just complete your work up to chapter 2. Okay, and if you have any doubt when we will meet again after 1st, then I will be telling you all your doubts, clearing your all the doubts. So question number 16, an object of mass 100 kg is accelerated uniformly from a velocity of 5. It's a very simple question. You know, it is the u given here, it is v given here, and time given here. So he's only asking what is the initial momentum. So you can just write P1 is equal to m into u. What is P2? It is equal to m into v. Only you have to put the value. So already I have written 100 kg, u is 5. So 100 into 5 is 500. Final momentum 100 into 8 is 800. Time taken is 6. So what is your force? Force is delta P. Wherever I have written delta, delta means P2 minus P1, PF minus PI means difference. Delta T is the difference of time. So you can use these suffixes especially to do the numerical for maths or physics. So 800 minus 500 divided by 6. So 800 minus 500 becomes 300 divided by 6, which gives you answer of 50 Newton. So only very simple question based on your theory part, which you've already done: initial momentum, final momentum, and then you can complete your question in 3 parts. Now, this is a question, next question 17, where there are 3 children, Akhtar, Kiran and Rahul. They are riding on motor car, and I think that's a common experience when we are riding on a motor car. You can see that on the windscreen many insects are coming, and on the expressway we are at very high speed. So the insect hit their windshield and got stuck on the windscreen. So actually that was their experience. They had seen, and they were pondering upon the situation. Means they were thinking that what is happening, why it is happening. Okay, so there are 3 persons, Akhtar, Kiran and Rahul. So you can see here, all of them, they gave their own suggestions. So first Kiran gave the suggestion that insect suffered a greater change in momentum as compared to the change in momentum of the motor car. Akhtar said that the velocity of the insect was much more than that of the motor car. So the motor car was moving with a larger velocity. It extended a larger force on the insect. As a result, the insect died. Now the third person is Rahul, who gave new explanation and said that both the motor car and the insect experienced the same force and the change in their momentum. So you have to comment on these suggestions, that who is saying right. So according to all the explanation, you can see what we have done in this chapter. According to Newton's third law, action and reaction are equal and opposite in magnitude, and both the motor car and insect are gone with the same change in momentum. So I think you must have understood now that Rahul is correct. Another explanation, Akhtar and Kiran, both are wrong. Okay, only Rahul's correction was there, and Rahul gave the right form of answer. So Kiran also gave the wrong calculation in it and wrong answer. Now I'm coming to the last question of the main exercise. How much momentum with the dumbbell you must have seen. Dumbbell is used for exercise, and dumbbell is also used for many sport activities. So you can see one dumbbell is there whose mass is 10 kg. Okay, it has a free fall, and it is falling from a height of 80 centimeter. So if you just see, it is 80 centimeter, converted into meters, 0.8 meters. When it's a free fall, u is equal to 0. mass of the dumbbell is 10 kg. Initial momentum we have to find out. So according to the question, because here he is asking how much momentum will a dumbbell. So here if you can see u is equal to 0. If you see the initial momentum, you can say it's 0. 10 into 0 because mu. But when you see the momentum once it hits, okay, so what will be your answer? The answer will be related to what is the speed it attains. Naturally, you have to find out here, first of all, because distance is already given in the question, 0.8 meters. Acceleration is also given in the question. Under the free fall, acceleration is positive. So from equation of motion, you have to find out what is V, because we want to have final momentum. So you know that formula of V square minus U, that's the third equation. So it is a very simple question based on V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. So if you put it, 0 is the velocity which is initial, 2 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 0.8. If you multiply all these three numbers, you can remove this decimal here, and if you put 10 here and you will remove the decimal, 10 and 10 will cancel. What is the answer? 16 meter per second. So 16 meter per second, and that is again, it's a V square. So if it is V square and you have to just write V, then you have to take the square root of it. So it is meter per second, meter square, second square for this. But when you have the square root of it, you will get 4 meter per second. So that's your question when we got V here. And now what is the momentum? It is m into V. So it is 40. 10 multiplied by 4, because mass of the body is 10 multiplied by 4, which is equal to m into V, and we got our answer as 40. So I have just completed the main exercise. Now I'm coming to additional question. In additional question, you have been given one table. Okay, in this table, there is a body which is moving, and it's a distance time table for a body in motion. So time in seconds, 0 and 0. That means first the body was at rest. And slowly after 1 second, distance is 1 meter. After 2 seconds, it's in increasing order. In 3 seconds, 27 meters, 4, 64, 5 is 125, 6 is 216, then 7 is 343. So he's asking, what conclusion can you draw about the acceleration? Is it increasing, decreasing, or 0? If distance time graph, which is given here, is like this. You can see the distance time graph which we will get from using all the values here. It will be like this. So the acceleration will always be increasing. Okay, this is one method, or you can find out acceleration one by one and then do it. That will be a long calculation part. So if you just compare your graph with the distance time graph and then compare it with the acceleration, I think if acceleration, if distance is increasing in non-uniform motion, then you can just say that acceleration is also increasing. So if you are increasing your acceleration, then automatically force is also increasing with time. So that's your question number 1. And then I'm coming to question number 2. In question number 2, that's again a logical question here. 2 persons managed to push a motor car of mass 1200 kg velocity along a level road. Means there are 2 persons who can push a motor car of 1200 kg along a level road. Now, same motor car can be pushed by 3 persons. If there are 2 persons, they are only managing to have the movement on a level road little bit. But if there are 3 persons, then they can produce acceleration also. So what they are saying, with what force does they push the motor? That means he is asking about the force. So in this question, actually beta, you have to just write that first of all, we have the value of F, which is equal to m into A, but here we have to find out acceleration in this case. Okay, now if somebody is accelerating, we just find out that how we can have the value. So first of all, we have to write the net force will be equal to the effort by 2 persons by which we are managing it, minus the force which is in the frictional force. We can just write 2F is the effort given here, 2F minus FF. Okay, F is the frictional force. If you subtract, then only one force is remaining. Okay, first of all, we are having two persons with the same effort they are having. You can see each person is applying the same force. Actually, it's not exactly true, because one person and the other person, they are not same, but they have given this condition that FFF, all the three persons, they are having the force of, so total force applied by them was 2F, and there was a frictional force. Okay, now if you just see, if you can see here, unless the third person comes, they are not able to move it. So you can just see if Fn is there, we can just write that total force which they are applying minus the frictional force you have. So in total force, if three persons are there, that means 3F is there, and then 2F is the frictional force by two persons who were doing it. So only 1F is remaining. So what is 1F? M into A. So whenever we have to apply 1F, you just find out only for one person. Two persons who were also doing the pushing, they were actually, their force was used to overcome the friction. So 1200 multiplied by 0.2, directly you can get the answer, which is equal to F is equal to MA. Now we come to question number 3. Hammer of mass 500 gram moving at a speed of 50 meter per second strikes a nail, and the nail stops the hammer in a very short time of 0.1 second. What is the force which is produced by the hammer? So in this question, hammer, it is having a very small force for very short time. Okay, now when you can see that time given is 0.01 second only. So let us see what are the values given: M, U, V and T. And what do we require here? For the force, we require A. So first step will be to find out A. So here you can just see, it is a very simple calculation. We have done minus 50 divided by 0.01, which is equal to 50 multiplied by 100 divided by 1. 50 into 100 is, you can just say, see here, it is minus 5000, and there is 1 in the denominator. We have to ignore it. So minus 5000. And then put it in the value of F is equal to MA, 0.5 minus 5000, which is equal to, if you multiply it, you can see 5 5 the 25, and 0.5 decimal will come under it. So we will just write 5000 multiplied by 5 divided by 10. 0 and 0 will cancel, and we are getting minus 2500 Newton. And it's by Newton's third law, that force on the nail is minus 2500 Newton, which is a retarding force. Now we come to question number 4. Motor car of mass 1200 kg is moving along a straight line. Again, a very simple question based on the formula, which is F is equal to, you can even do it directly by using this formula, M is equal to V minus U upon T. You can do it directly also, or you can find out A separately and then do it. So first of all, 90 km per hour will be converted into meter per second by multiplying 19 into 5 by 18. 19 into 5 by 18 becomes a 25. You can see here, and 18 km per hour is 18 into 5 by 18. That will become again 5. So I have already written it here. And then you can directly, either you do it separately to find out A, like we have done here, like this. A is equal to V minus U. You can see the value is minus 5 meter per second square, and then it's a change in momentum. You just multiply your value here. But if you prefer this formula, then you can do it like this. You can just write 1200 multiplied by V is equal to 5 here, minus 25 divided by time taken. Time taken is 4. Okay, and in the next step, we can just cancel it like this. 4 into 300. Okay, and this is 300 multiplied by minus 20. So you can just see it becomes minus 6000 Newton. And you can see here also, by using that formula, which was a longer calculation here, we can just have, it can be 1200 multiplied by -5, which is equal to -6000 Newton. So that's all I think in your exercise. We have completed it. Okay, so there is a question number 5 also, which is actually not in your exercise nowadays, but that's a very important question for examination purpose, so I've just taken it. Actually question number 5 was earlier in earlier books, but new NCERT book, I think they have not taken this question, but I want to discuss this. That's a very good question. So there is a large truck and a car moving with a velocity of magnitude v, has head-on collision, and with the head-on collision both of them come to a halt. Halt means they stop after the collision, and if the collision is for 1 second, now their direct question, there is no numerical in this, only they are asking you the answers. Which vehicle experiences the greater force of impact? Naturally it is the car. Car will be more damaged because truck has a greater momentum. Which vehicle experiences greater change in momentum? Answer is very simple, as discussed earlier, it's truck. Which vehicle experiences the greater acceleration? Both vehicles have the same acceleration. Why is the car likely to suffer more damage than the truck? Because the momentum transfer to the car is more, so it experiences the more damage. So these are 4 questions with a very simple explanation, which I just want to add in your exercise, so that you just do all the types of questions which we have in different books for examination purpose. So thank you everyone. You have to complete all these questions now. Complete it before 1st July. Okay, and send me, because I will be sharing the mail ID also. My mail ID is very simple, physics with Nidhi Sharma. Okay, but still you just see that you can use, even you can use my YouTube channel for giving the message, or you can do it in your group. Okay, so don't worry about it. Enjoy your holidays. Still we have 1 week ahead. Okay, almost I'm saying, because Monday we have. So okay, thank you so much. God bless you all. Okay, and I will be starting our next chapter also after this, that's gravitation. Okay.